Good morning, everyone. It's Cameron with Venus Theory, and welcome back to another episode of Morning Coffee with Cameron. So in today's video, we're here to, I guess, sort of cap off the sound design series for now. I just wanted to give a couple of tips and tricks about kind of finalizing your pack once you have it ready. Mostly just file structuring and creating artwork and things of that nature. And then from here, I think the sound design series will probably take a rest for a bit, but you know, this is something that's just going to be an ongoing discussion on the channel because this is kind of what I do. So let's go ahead and just dive right into it here and talk about making some artwork and structuring your stuff and options for selling it online. So let's dive in and get started. Alrighty, so as I mentioned in this video, I'm just going to walk you through my kind of final steps of finishing up a pack before releasing it. So I've already got all my samples here. I just made a sample pack of 808 drum sounds using Voltage Modular. This entire pack will be available for free download down in the description below. And I just wanted to walk you through how I export this and get everything ready and artwork and things like that. So I've got my samples and I've trimmed them all up. I just used Cubase's detect silence function. This is under audio advanced detect silence. So I used this to trim the samples up because like this snare just has a bunch of silence after it. So I just used Cubase's function to trim all these samples, get them nice and neat. Other than that, I just did a little bit of direct offline processing to normalize all of these to -4 dB, and then added a couple of other things, Hornet tape, Hornet analog stage, and a bit of PSP Vintage Warmer 2. And that's just kind of some typical processing I like, and it makes these samples just a little more juicy. So that's really all I did, and now these are ready to be exported. So when it comes to exporting a pack, I have a couple of things handy that I know I need. So we're going to go to my file explorer here, and I have my new sample packs folder. This is where I create a pack and do all this stuff. So I have Venus Theory pack name, and this is my template. So I'm going to copy that and paste it, and then we can name this whatever we're going to call the pack. So we'll call this 808 freebie for now. So within this folder, I have a bunch of directories already set up, and this just makes my life a lot easier. So I know we're going to have cymbals. There's no Foley, no effects. There's hats, kicks. There's no loops. There's no melodics, no pads, no percussion, no vocals. So I can just delete all of those, and there we go. We have everything we need to export these sounds into. So from here, I'm going to grab my readmebros.txt file. So this is just kind of a terms and conditions thing that I use. You can search a template for this or whatever you want to do. So thanks for downloading. This is a 808 mini sound set made for the purpose of a tutorial on my channel. That's pretty much it. I hope you enjoy the sounds, and just because people will probably download this without watching this video because my sample page gets a lot of hits, let's just type something random. Waffles are great during the sunset in my bathroom. Just to confuse people. FAQ, this is just stuff I add. Is this free? How do I use it? Move the samples to your sample drive location. Everything else is done. Okay, so file save. Now we've got our terms in there. And really what I do this for, as you may have noticed if you've downloaded my packs, I just mostly note that like this is all royalty free. Don't use these and sell them because they're mine. You know, basic stuff like that. So that's pretty much it. Okay, so now we have all our stuff ready to go. Now we can export. So this is my snare. So I'm going to highlight all of these, go to Edit, Render in Place, and we'll go to Render Settings. These are my settings. I don't have the tail mode on. You can use this if needed, but since these are all manually trimmed, we're good to go. I use the channel settings because there's nothing on the master bus. Custom name, I'm going to rename these later. So now we're just going to go and change the file location. So we'll go to Choose. This is on my desktop, new sample packs, 808 freebie. This is going to the snares. Select this folder. Other than that, we're good to go. So we're going to hit render. So this takes a pretty short amount of time depending on the session. In some sessions where I have, you know, a couple hundred samples or, you know, like 1,000 samples in some of my Foley recording sessions, this can take quite a bit of time. So this is just going to start time-lapsing right now. Okay, and we're back. So everything has been exported. We are good to go. In this case, I'm not really going to back up this project. It's really, really rare that I back up a sample Cubase project, but normally what I will do is I will actually just keep the raw recordings just in my archive of stuff. So when I go out and do Foley sessions, you know, where I have like a 10-minute file of me just recording Foley, I will keep that. I just won't keep the session in Cubase where I've chopped everything up because I've already chopped out the samples and I don't think it's necessary. So we are pretty much done here. So now we can just open the file browser and let's find this folder on my desktop. So this is new sample packs, 808 freebie. And just to make sure, typically what I like to do is just test these samples out. So I'm just going to add a drum rack here with Groove Agent. We'll wait for that to load. Okay, let's just grab cymbal. Sure, and one of those. Let's grab a kick. Sure. And a snare. Yep. And a hat. And then a different hat. And then an open hat. Cool. So now we can just give this a quick play. Cool. And I mean, that's basically what I'll do is I'll just go listen through all of these and just make sure everything's good. You should do this as well when you're rendering the samples, but we're good to go. This is all done. So now we can proceed to the next steps. Okay, so we have our 808 freebie pack. This is all done. We have our terms and conditions. So now we need some artwork. So we're going to jump onto the internet and make some artwork. Okay, so this is a free online service called Canva. I highly recommend you check it out. If you're not a design-oriented person or don't have any graphic design software, this is excellent for design stuff. This is canva.com, and it has everything you need to make desktop wallpapers, posters, letterhead stuff, you know, all sorts of stuff. It's a great, great site. I use it all the time. I use it for prototyping designs a lot too. I'll, you know, kind of futz about with something in Canva and then recreate it in Photoshop to have a bit finer control. So once your sample pack is done, you're going to need some kind of artwork. And of course, you want your artwork to be really nice and high quality. And if you're not like a design-oriented person, that can be pretty difficult to, you know, what is a good design. So Canva has a bazillion different templates. They're really, really excellent. So, you know, we could use this. And we could call this like 808 sessions, and we can adjust the font size and, you know, everything we need to make a great design is just included. There's a bunch of alignment tools. Venus Theory presents drum kit. So then, you know, we have this background photo. There's a bunch of great stock photos. Here's like a free music production stock photo I found. There's a nice, you know, overlay. It's a good design. There we go. We can just go ahead and hit download and away we go. You can add, you can do all sorts of stuff with like filters and things like that. And, you know, there's so many designs. So many designs. There we go. Cool. And then we could add like a quick, photo filter of some kind. Sure. You can adjust the filter yourself and do like a custom, whatever you want, you know, so on and so forth. It's a great site, great fonts, and you can upload your own stuff. So I uploaded my logo. Here we go. And we'll just make sure that's centered. All right, cool. Done. Nice artwork. There we go. So I found a design in here at some point. It's right here. So I found this design. I really liked it. So I just copied it into Photoshop and recreated it. And this, like I said, just gives me a bit finer control over the final elements. You know, I added a bit of like noise and texture to it, and I can use my own custom fonts and things like that. So we'll call this 808 sessions, I guess. Doesn't really matter. This is, we'll just call this drum kit for my subheading. My logo's already there. We can replace this background. So like I've talked about before in design-oriented videos, of which I've only done a few, I use Unsplash or Pexels a lot for just nice-looking stock photos. So let's search for drums, I guess. Nah, let's just search abstract. That's always a safe choice. Sure. It's a cool looking picture. So right click, copy, and I have this set as a smart element, smart layer. So I'm just going to paste that in. We'll scale this around a bit till we're happy with it. Sure. Kind of want that to be like sorta in the center. Right about there is good. Save that. Neat. Let's go ahead and maybe just adjust the tint here. So I'm gonna change this tint color. I think that should be good. Let's go ahead and just add a color overlay to separate the text a bit more. So we'll just grab this kind of dark color. We'll tint it blue. There we go. Fill that with a paint bucket. There we go. Now the text is nice and readable. Sweet. So when it comes to artwork, I just save it at usually like 1000 by 1000, up to 3000 by 3000 for like nice high quality artwork. But since this is just going to be displayed online, 1000 by 1000 works. So we'll save that. And I am going to save this into the sample pack folder. So we'll find new sample packs, 808 freebie. So we'll call this 808 sessions art. Cool. Artwork is done. So now there's just a couple small things left to do. Okay, so now comes the boring stuff. I want to make sure all these samples are branded and stuff. So I'm going to open this up and we'll highlight everything, Control A, rename, and we'll do Venus Theory 808 symbol. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing for each of these folders to make sure everything has a nice consistent name. So we need to do the closed hats. So rename Venus Theory 808 hat. And then we'll do open hats. So highlight those, rename Venus Theory 808 open hat. Okay. Kicks. Okay. Rename Venus Theory 808 kick. And I know this is like boring and tedious, but I recommend you do it. So this is Venus Theory 808 snare. So that way, you know, when people use this on, you know, YouTube or something, like your branding is still somewhat there because this file name will show up. But yeah, so that is the 808 freebie. We're now renamed and done and ready to go. So now what we need to do is go ahead and zip this file up. So I'm going to rename this to Venus Theory 808 sessions, just to make sure it matches the name. And we have our samples. The artwork is contained in here, and we have the README file. Okay, cool. So I'm going to right click, and I have WinRAR. If you are on Windows, get WinRAR. It makes this easier. We're going to go to Add to Archive, Zip, and OK. This is going to zip it for us. There we go. So now we can open our 808 sessions with WinRAR. People can extract this into their sample drive, and within this is everything. So we are good to go to upload this to whatever online service we would like to use. I use Bandzoogle. This is where I make my website and stuff. So I need to add a new pack here. So what we're going to do is just get that uploaded, and then we will be done. So this is going to time lapse once more. Okay, and we are done. So I've uploaded the file, I added the artwork, added a basic description, and you can do this on any service you would like. So if you use a website builder like Squarespace, Wix, Bandzoogle, whatever, if you have a Selfie page or you have something set up with WordPress or whatever that may be, this is how I would do it. So from here, if we wanted to, in this case, I won't be doing it because this is pretty straightforward, but we might create a demo track and add this to like a SoundCloud player on the website, or just upload it to my SoundCloud account and link to this page to download the samples. So that is pretty much all there is to it. it's a fairly straightforward process. It's just about, making sure the branding is there, the files are named, everything's organized and structured. You have your README and terms, because you will get asked about that. Trust me, I get asked all the time. And then, we've created a nice high quality art image that's appealing. So, if we go to the samples page here and take a look, we have this nice high quality image. We can just click to download it, and there we go. And we have our sample pack done and ready to go. So that is it. And yeah, that's basically all I do for this process. And that's it for this video. So thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys again soon.